Alright guys, so in today's video, we're going to check out the iPhone 16 Plus and find out a couple of reasons why I think it might be the perfect sense to actually buy this model compared to the others. Now, I know there's a ton of people doing the iPhone 16 Pro, the Pro Max, the iPhone 16, but I think the 16 Plus actually sits in a very ideal position. Now, hear me out. I've got a couple of reasons for that. Now, first up, in terms of the price, this is sitting only 500 ringgit higher than the iPhone 16, and for that, you are getting, a fairly larger display, 6.7 compared to 6.1. So you're actually getting a bit more screen estate for just 500 bucks. Now, since we're talking about price, the iPhone 16 series, the entire range has dropped in price here in Malaysia. It is down by about 400 ringgit. So it's again sitting in a very sweet position. Just slightly more expensive than the 16, cheaper than last gen, and of course, a significant amount lesser than the 16 Pro Max. Alright, so for that kind of money, what are you actually getting for the phone itself? What's new and all that? Now, personally, I think the biggest change to the iPhone 16 Plus here is definitely in terms of the two buttons that are now available on the phone. Now, on the left, we do have that shortcut action key, which you can actually program it to launch a couple of different applications. Now, this wasn't here last year, so it's good to see that on the 16 Plus. But the most interesting one is definitely that brand new shutter button, camera button, where you can actually, just press on it and get the camera controls. You can use it for your zoom, you can use it to change your filters, and it's just a fantastic button that's also available on the more expensive 16 Pro models. Now, personally, I thought the 16, the base versions, will not be getting the shutter button, but we do have it here, and again, this makes it a very different experience. Now, speaking about the camera, there's not been much of an upgrade in terms of the megapixel count. We are still having that 48MP main and that 12MP ultra wide, so we still lose out on that telephoto lens, which is only still reserved for the Pro. Alright, now moving on to my third point on why I think this is still a great purchase. Now, I know a lot of you might say that it doesn't come with a 120Hz display, but again, based on my previous video that I did on the 15 Plus, not everyone is really into that high refresh rate displays. Some of you even mentioned that after using it for a couple of months, you don't really notice the lack of that 120Hz. So again, if you are someone who's coming from a 60Hz refresh rate display or 90Hz for that matter, and you come over to here, if that's not really a deal breaker, you're really going to enjoy the iPhone 16 Plus. Now, finally, another huge reason why the 16 Plus is a great reason to buy is because it comes with a brand new A18 chipset. Now, this is actually an improvement compared to the last gen, and it's not as powerful as the 16 Pro models. But again, for the chipset, you'll be able to access that Apple Intelligence, which will be coming over in a couple of months, and you're actually still getting a very strong performance on the iPhone 16 Plus. If you just talk about gaming, using your phone on a daily, if you're not those kind of like super hardcore gamers, not everyone who watches my videos are hardcore gamers, you are still going to experience a very smooth performance on the 16 Plus. Now, before we go, there's a final thing about the battery life here. So in terms of battery life, based on the new chipset, it's supposed to be a little bit better than before. I hear that the charging might be a bit quicker than before as well. I know the fast charging, the wireless charging is a bit faster than before, but I'll still be doing a couple more tests to see if that's really the case. But yeah, that pretty much sums up my quick take on the iPhone 16 Plus. Oh, one more thing that I should also highlight here is that in terms of the design, I also do kind of prefer the entire matte surface of the frames compared to the 16 Pro, because the 16 Pro models do capture a lot of fingerprints, if you notice that, whereas the ones on the 16 models, just like the 15, they are matte, they do not capture any fingerprints. They're nice to hold. Let me know what you think about this particular model. Is it sitting somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or is it actually secretly the underdog, the one that you guys should actually go ahead and grab? Anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to drop a like, sub to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and bye bye.